Hello everyone. Okay. Is it filming? Cool. Hey, this is William, and I haven't filmed any laptop stuff for a while, but today I got a customer inquiry about this Asus touchscreen laptop, and I looked it up on YouTube or someplace other places, and I couldn't find any videos on how to replace the screen on this, so I decided to make one. So this is a touch screen, which means that once the glass is cracked, if you're unfortunate, your touch screen will stop functioning. If you're fortunate, it will still work, but you might get your hand cut or something like that. So the touchscreen laptop, the special characteristic of these laptops are that most of the time, the glass itself is glued onto the screen bezel, like Apple MacBook Pro or something like that. So there are two ways of approaching this, broken outer screen thing going on. For this time, I have the complete set. So this is the outside digitizer, which is the glass part. So this is the actual touchscreen part, and this is the only thing that's broken on this laptop. And I am going to replace the inner screen as well, because this comes with the inner screen too. But this part costs about $170, but if you have some kind of a heat gun or any kind of hot stuff, you can actually heat this part up, and I'm pretty sure you can take this apart, and which I'm gonna try with the broken screen later. And if you do it that way, you can save quite a lot of bucks. But for now, we have this part, so we're gonna go ahead and start taking off the inner screen for this laptop. So you can notice that the camera is actually inverted, which means if I work this way, you guys aren't gonna see any. Oh, maybe you guys will see something. All right, let's try this. So I have the laptop here, and then as you can see down there, there are two screw holes like a sticker. So we're gonna take off the sticker first, and I'm gonna grab my tools. Okay, so what I mean by tool is just, screwdriver and something that you can pry off the stickers with. So I don't know if you can see it well, but here is a first sticker. All it is just a sticker. And then you don't want to lose this because it's the only thing that's covering up the screws. And mine is right there. I'm going to put it right there. And then second sticker, which is right here, I'm also going to take it off like this. Oh shit, it's right here. Okay. So now once I take those out, I get the access to the screen, and I would just have to simply pry it off about this much, and I can get the screw in there at a correct angle, and this stuff will come out like that. And having some kind of magnet, which is a trick that I use, having a magnet on the screwdriver will help the the screws to come out together like that. So now I got the screws out, and if you look over here, we can see that's the only thing that's actually holding this whole thing together. So now the only thing that's holding the screen are the plastic clips around here, which I'm gonna gently pry it off with my flathead screwdriver. So I would recommend using some kind of plastic wedge tool, but I've been using this tool for a long time, and I like to use this tool more than anything else. So once you get some holes in there, you can just pry it off like this. What I do notice right now is that this is actually to some extent bending this outer glass. So if you gotta do it gently, otherwise you might break the screen that's already outer glass that's fine. Uh, in this task, you might end up breaking some couple plastic clips. Breaking couple doesn't really affect the functionality that much, but if you break too many of them, you might, have some trouble putting the new screen back on here. So try to do it gently, and then kind of pry it open a little bit, and then see if you can look at it. Okay, it seems like my screen is almost out. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it's almost out, it seems like. So now I'm going to show a little bit better here. So now all the top part clips are out, but I'm gonna basically flip the left side upside down and get some couples out of here, and then get the couple of the rest plastic clips out of here using the screwdriver here. And then after that, gently open it up, and the screen as a whole should come out like that. Now at this point, try not to damage the hinge by gently applying some force around here. Okay. So now I got the screen out, and as you can see, there are some of the things that we might have to take out. For an example, so this is the screen. We're gonna have to take out the control board for the digitizer and swap it over. Gotta take out, it looks like a webcam, and this looks like some kind of a proximity sensor for closing the lid. And we gotta, of course, take out the screen cable. So now this should be, yeah, it's completely off the chassis right now. The only thing that's actually holding is the connectors. So we're gonna gently pry off this tape over here, and then this is the broken screen, so I can kind of touch this part. But be careful here not to damage any cables. You can pry off the edges on both sides and it will gently come off. And it seems like there's a tape here, which we might want to take that off too. We got that tape off, which we can replace it with some kind of other tape as well. And this looks like another tape here. Which we can also set it aside. So now we got that part off. And now this looks like it's kind of plastic. It's kind of like almost riveted in there. They kind of put it into this hole and then melted the plastics around. And same thing for this one maybe? Although this one is just kind of sitting on there. So now I got this out. This looks like a webcam. And this looks like the proximity sensor. And then there's a tape here. We're going to take that tape off. And then there's another tape here. Going to take the tape off, and then we're going to take these two tapes first, and then at the last we're going to take off the two connectors over here. The connector, it looks like you pop it up like this, yeah, it should be like that. I'm gonna pop this up like that and just gently push it. This part is very fragile, so you don't want to crack it there. And then you can see it kind of opens up, and then you can gently remove the cable like that. Now I can already tell putting this in is gonna be really bitch because these are curved hella. So now this thing is also held by some kind of plastic clip over here. that you can kind of try to push it aside like that. Yeah. And then gently take the cables off the hole. And then this whole thing should come apart. Now the rest step is basically, you know, doing everything backward. But we want to rest the new screen on the good place, so it makes the job easier. I'm going to rest it on here, just like that. And then what I'm going to do first is fix this goddamn tape. And then I'm going to put everything back to where it was. So I think this screen, this cable, went over here like that. The tip of putting this cable is not pushing in, but you gently grab the tape, push it down to get the angle right, and just pull the tape like this, and then you'll hear it kind of ticks in. So that cable is in there. And then we want to do the same thing to the cables over here. Okay, so there's a clip over here, which is right here. I'm going to open this clip up, get the pin in there, get the wires in there. And once the wire gets in there, I'm going to take this tape off. It looks like it looks like it goes over here on the between the screens. Yeah, it goes over here. There's like a little groove that this goes in. Make sure it goes into all the grooves. And then along the corner here. And I'm going to put the tape. I'm going to put the tape on. And then it goes through the rest of the stuff here. So now the cable is most of the part in, as you can see, but now we got the proximity sensor, the tape, the webcam, and the digitizer board. So now the tip that I want to give you is this is actually not bent right now. So when you buy a screen, it will come like this, not really bent yet. So we want to open the connector first. So the lift off the white connector part, and then you're going to flip it upside down, kind of like that. Actually, I'm going to unplug it like that, and then take this off, so kind of detach everything away, and then I'm going to put these connectors in first. Seems like there's some kind of a... Actually, that doesn't need to come off. Make sure it's in there snug. Close the cap. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other connector. Put it in. And then close it. So now that's in there. So I'm going to now plug the cable back in. I'm sure you guys can't really see it because of my hand, but putting cable in is pretty straightforward. And then we're gonna put this whole thing back into where it was. And then there are a couple holes. And then it seems like that plastic cable part is it looks like this is a bit challenging to put in. It looks like there's some kind of plastic clip on both sides that you just kind of push it through. And then we're gonna get the rest of the cables in. And then get the rest of the wires in. And then now I'm gonna get the proximity sensor in there, gently putting it where it used to be. And then I'm also putting the webcam into where it used to be, which is right here. So the webcam goes into place like this as well, and you have to push it down. It's kind of, these plastic pins are really they suck. Alright, the webcam is in there. I'm gonna put the tape back on. Same thing to this. Put a tape back on. And put that back on there. So now, here is the trick. Shit. Alright, so now how... Oh, sorry, the battery fell off. So now how do I actually get this proximity sensor in place? Of course you can use a tape, but this is a pretty tight space for the tape. So I'm going to use a soldering tool. Not soldering tool, soldering gun. And then gently press down the other side of it. And then there's a bigger pinch over here. And I guess I'm going to have to melt this down to make it flat, flush to the proximity sensor. And then this will kind of be held by that. But until that soldering iron is warmed up, I'm going to tuck the wires in. It seems like the cable is a little bit short. So I'm going to take everything apart again. Weird. And then get this thing in there and get the wire over here in. Another bitch plastic clip. Cable's actually just flush in. Oh, it's a pretty tight fit. And then the cables that are popping here, I'm just gonna use these tapes that were on here before, because why not? Okay. So now my soldering iron should be. So I'm gonna gently press down here in the center and gently melt this down. Now that's kind of in there, and I'm gonna melt it. So now we're gonna put the screen back on there. It actually seems like, believe it or not, it seems like we're gonna have to take apart the whole fucking laptop to get that screen rivets in there. I'm not sure why Asus would do this, but whatever. You know, in order to get the job done right. F me. So I'm gonna take these screws all out. So I got the back plate out, and now I'm gonna have to undo the hinges. And to undo the hinges, it's basically essentially holding everything. First of all, we're gonna have to take whatever this thing is to get the screen cables off, which is right here. And I'm just gonna take it off with hand, which is not a bad habit. I mean, which is not a good habit with the battery in place, but just gotta do it gently and try not to touch anything. What kind of connector is this? I thought it just comes out like that. Okay, the screen cable is out. That means we can go ahead and remove the screen. There's another thing over here, and the hinge has 1, 2. It's right behind here. 1, 2 on this side, and other 2 on this side. And then I'm gonna, that one's not gonna come out easily. I just lost my magnet. I have no idea where it is. But after that, it should be free to come out. So I'm gonna gently lift this up. Try not to break anything. And of course, you want to remove the antenna cable for the Wi-Fi and put that somewhere safe. Alright, now the screen is out by itself. Gonna put the hinge to on position so it's a bit easier for me to put in. And it seems like this hinge cover, this plastic cover, has come out as well, which I'm just gonna simply pry it off with my screwdriver here. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so here is kind of what kind of trick I've found. First, yes, you do have to get some of the pins off of here, so this screen would go in there snug. And then once it goes in snug, you can close the clips on here. Once it goes in there, you're gonna install the screen kind of like a little bit below where it should be. And then once the screen gets in there, you're gonna push the bottom ones over here, like over here. And then I'm gonna, so when that's down there, and then the clip goes in, you're gonna push it down and push it up, kind of, so like slide it up. A suction cup like this will be really helpful. Kind of push it up, and then while you're doing that, you're gonna put the screw in so it mounts flush. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and once that's done, I'm gonna pressure the screen from both sides and then push it up and then push the other side down to get the screen latch in there perfectly. So I'm gonna try that and see how that goes. Alright, now I got the both screen kind of flush in there, but the screen is still a little below where the bezel is, and then same thing on the other side. But I did get the screen kind of in there, and it's not gonna budge. So from that point, I'm gonna gently let me show you. So now from this point, I'm gonna gently grab it like this. Shoot. But I'm gonna gently grab it like this. So my left hand over here, my right hand over here, and then I'm gonna push the right hand up so the screen latches in. That's how the pin is designed. So let's see, and then I'm gonna see how that goes. Wow, that was literally like a workout, but I did it and then managed to get the screen almost flushed into it, almost like the same level, like that. I think that's how good it gets. You know, that's how good as it gets. I did break a couple pieces of the plastic trim here and there. You can see like the little thing that fell off. I think that part really comes down to how good you are at doing this rather than, you know, correct way of doing this, because I think this is the best way to do it, because I can't really think of any other easier solution than whatever I just did. And then I'm actually sweating. That was really tough. Although this screen, well, the outer screen is actually a thick glass. This is something that people, it's a touch screen, so people touch it. So it was designed to withdraw some amount of pressure. So it is okay to push on it. You just don't want to hammer it or something like that. Once you get that in, I'm going to put the whole screen assembly back onto the main board and then finish the job. What a horrible design. But I'm going to film myself putting this back together. We want to have this thing flushed in there. So you want this to kind of latch in there, and then once you get that in there, I'm gonna plug in the Wi-Fi antenna first. The white is on this side, and then the black is on this side. The Wi-Fi card tells you here, white and black. Once I get that in there, I'm gonna tape this in so it doesn't go anywhere, and then I'm gonna close the latch like that. Put tape over it, and then I'm gonna actually, these are the screws, and I'm gonna get the screws for the hinge in here. It does look like these tape sucks, so I'm gonna get some electrical tape. Cut it, and then put it right here, just so it doesn't go anywhere, and it makes the job a little bit easier. And I'm going to cut another chunk, a smaller bit this time, and then I'm going to put it on the hinge. Just like that. And I'm gonna plug in the screen connector, the screen and digitizer crap, over here. There's no trick, you just push it in. And then it seems like this tape has seen better days as well. So I'm gonna take this tape off, and then I'm gonna tape it like that with an electrical tape. And that's the warranty sticker, so I'm not going to touch that. And sorry for the Facebook noise, that's unavoidable. Okay, the lines are on there. And then after that, I'm going to get the hinge back on this side, and then I'm going to get the rest two of the screws in on there. Actually, that sticker looks like it should be out of here. Yeah. And then that looks like a freaking wrong screw that I just put in there. And then I'm gonna get the second screw on there. Okay. And then I'm gonna replace these tapes as well with another electrical tape. Just so it doesn't go anywhere. Alright, after that, make sure everything is plugged in. Things can come off. And then I'm gonna put this thing in here. And then put all the rest of the screws back on. You don't want to tighten them too much. So when I was taking it out, it was missing 2 screws. So either this guy tried to open it before, or it came with 2 less screws from the factory, which is very unlikely. So that's that. Actually, it's missing 1 screw. And the last screw that goes in there. Just make sure everything's in there snug. Just kind of push the general area. Listen for some pops. Same as the hinges. I'm still hearing some couple pops here and there. And then after everything is done, going for an inspection. So the screen is working, and I want to see if the touch screen is working. Ha 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 ha. So you want to see if everywhere is working. And it seems like this one, okay, your PC's off. Ah, shit. It seems like everything is working on this one, so I'm going to call this good. So that was very tough. Unnecessary tough. If you want to just replace the outer screen, and I'm going to grab the old screen. This is the old screen. If you want to just replace the glass, I don't think I'll have time to do that to show you guys, but pretty straightforward. You heat up the outer edges, and then grab like a, some kind of, thing, and just pry it off like this. Yeah, that's all it is. It's glued in there, and this is pretty thick glass. Try not to damage the plastic. That would be a pain in the ass. After you get that out, you can see the screen is kind of mounted onto the plastic frame, so the screen will be inside. You don't want to damage the screen, so when you have your screwdriver in there, try to get the most outer edges possible, and try not to touch the actual inner screen. When you get that out, you'll see the 2 connectors right here. This is the connectors for the digitizer. Once you get the glass out, those connectors will come out as well. And then once you get the screen out, you're going to clean all the glass shavings or the glue residue around the screen. Make it clean. And then you want to apply new tape, and then just around the edges, put new glass on. When you put new glass on, make sure the connectors goes in there first, and then flush it to the screen, and then rest of the job is whatever we just did. So I wouldn't do this unless you know what you're doing. Like you're pretty confident that you're pretty good with hands. Then this is good for you. Otherwise, it's kind of fairly difficult job, and I would suggest just replacing the screen. And even just replacing the screen is, I would consider, one of the hardest one I've ever done, because of that L type bracket that has to kind of latch in there from the inside, and does really kind of glad I didn't fuck it up too bad, but does kind of require some skills, and it's one of the difficult jobs. But if you have any question, if you know any better way of doing this, please do share and leave a comment on the video, and then I'll check it out for sure. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll try to make more video as often. Thank you.